I wanted to post another video specifically about homeschooling at the high school level in South Carolina. So South Carolina law states that there are 5 instructional areas that all homeschool students are required to cover during their 180 learning days. And these subjects include composition and literature, which fall under the umbrella subject of English language arts, math, science, and then social studies. So when you get to the high school level, these laws don't change. The law doesn't get rewritten. There is no second law for high school students. You can legally cover just those 5 subject areas for 180 days. You don't have to do every subject every day, and do that for the 4 years of high school and then graduate your student, and you would be compliant with the law. But there's a few things to keep in mind when doing that. So one of the things to keep in mind is what they want to do once they graduate. So is their end goal just going into a job? Is their end goal going to a career college, career school, tech school, community college, or university? So once you know what they want to do after graduation, I usually suggest planning backwards. So if they want to go to a university, for example, looking at that university's specific entry requirements for incoming freshmen, and if they have recommended courses or required courses for their incoming freshmen, and plan from there. So Clemson, for example, their recommended courses vary from the South Carolina homeschool law. So they're recommending that students in high school take a foreign language. They want electives, PE, fine arts, and that varies because the homeschool law, the requirements are just those 5 subject areas. So it's important to think about that when planning. Another thing to keep in mind is transcripts. So legally, the law does not state that homeschool students are required to have a transcript. And a transcript is a document that compiles your students' courses all onto one form, and it's from their freshman year. Sometimes there are middle school students in 7th and 8th grade that take high school level classes, and that would be on there as well. But it includes the course title, how many credits it was worth, their grade, their GPA, and the location where these courses were taken. And again, the homeschool law doesn't state that it's required, but some colleges do ask for a transcript. So even some jobs. So just in my own personal experience, when I graduated from high school and went to apply for a job, they wanted a copy of my transcript from high school. Every college I applied to wanted a copy of it. And then going further, when I graduated with my bachelor's degree and got my first teaching job, they wanted a copy of my transcript. They didn't even care about the diploma. My beautiful bachelor's degree, my piece of paper. They wanted the transcript. Same with my master's when I got a job teaching at a college. So the transcript is something to keep in mind. Again, it's not required. Some homeschool associations do offer transcript assistance service that they will help you compile your transcripts, figure out the GPAs and everything, and even send it to colleges on your behalf. But that varies association to association, so just check into that. Hometown will assist you. We do have a link on our members page, and we're working on it right now to open it to other members as well of different associations that don't offer the services, just to help out families, because legally parents can and guardians can compile their own transcripts, but it can get confusing and overwhelming. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, when planning your high school students' courses for their 4 years, something that homeschool students have the opportunity to do that public school students don't have the opportunity to do is to include more real-life learning, job shadowing, real-life experiences. Homeschool students are not limited to only learning from textbooks. So let's say your child wants to become an accountant, and you could reach out to an accountant, a local accountant, and see if they can volunteer and if the accountant will be willing to teach them some bookkeeping, job shadow, and that would cover a lot of the required subject areas for South Carolina homeschool students. Another one that would be great is if they wanted to be a veterinarian, They can reach out to a local vet, see if they could job shadow, volunteer at a local animal shelter, and these would all count as real life learning experiences as well as cover those subject areas. So that's something that's nice about homeschooling, that we can do that and we have the flexibility to create these courses and give our students the opportunities to learn real life experiences and see if they really truly want to pursue that area as their career one day. Another thing to keep in mind is with the South Carolina diploma. So homeschool students do not actually get a state-issued homeschool diploma. They don't get a South Carolina high school diploma like public school students. The state will not give you any diploma because you're not a public school student. So there is no diploma that is issued from the state to homeschool students. Now, that's not saying that you can't get a high school diploma. There are some associations that offer services to get a high school diploma. There are websites you can order them from, but homeschool students as well as private school students do not get a state-issued South Carolina diploma because they're not public school students. That's for public school students. Something else to keep in mind, I've seen a lot of people recommend following the South Carolina high school diploma standards that public school students do. And that's fine to follow those recommendations, but homeschool students legally do not have to. It's a great guide, and it does cover a lot of the recommended courses on different universities and colleges, but homeschool students legally do not have to. Homeschool students have a lot of flexibility with their education. You can pursue more interest-based learning, customize the classes that are required under those 5 instructional areas. You can customize the classes under those to really meet your students' interests and needs versus making a curriculum, making them fit a curriculum or making them fit into a class. So there's a lot of flexibility with homeschooling, especially at the high school level. I wanted to post this video to share that with other homeschool families and hopefully help answer a lot of questions that you have. I see a lot of families when they get to the high school level or they have a student in 8th grade and they're like, next year's high school, I'm overwhelmed. What do I do? I need help. So I hope that this helps shed a lot of light and take a little bit of the stress off. And if you have any questions specifically about homeschooling, I've been in education on public school side, private school side, homeschool side, as well as a college professor. So if you even have questions regarding other things besides homeschooling, feel free to reach out. I don't mind helping and answering questions. So I hope this video helps. And if you have a question or a suggested topic for me to cover in another video, feel free to comment below and share. Thanks.